Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's time to start the week, and what a fashion to start it. Exactly how you'd like it, because Celtic this afternoon, in the past hour as I record this video, have confirmed their fourth signing of the summer transfer window. The ball is rolling, and before July 1st, Celtic already have 4 new faces in at the club, and that could be 5 by the end of this week. Say what you want, but to have 4, essentially 5 players signed before July 1st, it's very unlike Celtic, and I'm a fan of that. So let's talk about it, shall we? If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. That would be much appreciated. We're trying to get towards 60,000 subscribers. We're trying to match the capacity of Celtic Park, so get down below, do that. We'll be here every day through the month of July to talk about all the transfer nonsense, and that starts today because Celtic have confirmed their next signing of the window. And finally, we know where Callum Osmand is, because around 2:30 this afternoon, Celtic finally confirmed that Callum Osmand has signed for Celtic. He has signed on a 4-year deal, and he becomes Celtic's 4th signing of the summer transfer window. All the photos and statements have been posted on the social channels, and he signs for Celtic as one of our new striker options. The young lad, only 19 years of age, comes from Fulham for a development fee, essentially a free transfer. And let me tell you, if he's anything like the last Fulham striker that we signed on a development transfer, then this could be good. So here was the statement on CelticFC.com this afternoon. Celtic are delighted to announce the signing of highly rated striker Callum Osmand, who has joined the club from Fulham on a 4-year deal subject to international clearance. The 19-year-old becomes the latest arrival at Celtic Park following the signings of Kieran Tierney, Ross Doohan and Benjamin Nygren, and joining the champions is the next step up in Callum's career. Brendan Rodgers has already commented on it, saying that we are really pleased to bring Callum to Celtic. He is highly rated, he's a highly talented young player. He has some real attributes. He's quick, he's powerful, and I'm really looking forward to working with him. I'm sure he can be really successful with us. And also, Callum Osmand has spoken to the club for the first time and detailed in his first interview that he spoke to Matt O'Reilly, of course, formerly of Fulham and Celtic as well. He's got a connection to the club already, and one that was pretty successful, going for £30 million, the record sale in Celtic's history. Callum Osmand said it feels unbelievable to get here, and he's so happy. It's a big step, and he's excited to get going. It's a massive move, and I can't wait to step out at Celtic Park in front of all the fans. When I spoke to the manager, he was really positive. The plan and pathway he'd set out was exciting, and it's very exciting for me. He has set out what he wants from me, and is all really positive, so I can't wait to get going now. I've also spoken to Matt O'Reilly on the phone. He's given me advice. He was telling me about how big the club is, how amazing the fans are, and how it's a new life, really. So I'm excited. Excitement is definitely the word for me. So there you go. Callum Osmand signs for Celtic on a 4-year contract for around that £500,000 mark, I believe you've got to pay out for the development fee, maybe just a little less than that. And do you know what? All things considered, I think this could be a really good signing for us. So the big question is, how involved will young Callum Osmand be? He's only 19, he's coming in on a development fee without any senior games played for Fulham, and really the future is sort of unknown for him. But the way that he's spoke in his first interview about Brendan Rodgers and his plan for him, the way that he was apparently ready to now move on to the Fulham first team, he was ready for that call-up. They were gutted to lose him. The fans were gutted to lose him. I think this is somebody that's going to play a part at Celtic this season, and he's one that I'm really excited to see play a part at Celtic this season. I don't want to just continuously draw the same parallels with Moussa Dembele, because that is such a high ceiling, and that is such an expectation to place on a young man. There's a reason that his shirt is behind me in every single video. He's one of my favourites ever at Celtic. But this is very similar. You know, we brought in Moussa, who had very little to no first team experience. We brought him in on that development transfer, and he went out to be one of Celtic's best strikers of the 21st century. I'm not going to try and place that expectation on Callum Osmand, but he's clearly done well at a youth level, got this move and caught the eye of Celtic for a reason, and has made the Fulham fans gutted for a reason because they thought they were on the precipice of something special with him. So, yeah, he's certainly going to be an option. I still think there's maybe another striker to come in, hopefully at Celtic. I would like a situation where we have Osmand, Ida, and another top striker. That would be very, very ideal. But look, I know we're still waiting on big money to be spent, but sometimes the stars come from the cheap signings. And I think that Callum Osmand could be a star. This is somebody with a lot of potential. A young Englishman. Hey, listen, for all you know, this could be the guy that shatters Celtic's transfer record on the way out. So the future is anything. It's up for grabs. We'll wait and see. I know sometimes people accuse me of being overly optimistic and just being happy at whatever I'm given, but I wouldn't be doing my job right if I came on here just to moan about everything. I like to look at things from an optimistic angle, and Callum Osmand has given us plenty to be optimistic about. This is his record at Fulham so far with the under-18s, the under-21s, under-18 Premier League level and Premier League 2 level. He has 16 goals respectively across both those competitions, and he's done that at a very good rate. 28 games in Premier League 2, 16 goals, 7 assists. Under-18s Premier League, 16 goals, 5 assists, 32 games. Sorry, I've just realised that's off screen. At Wales under-17s level, he's already scored as well. He's not been capped at a higher level yet, but I mean, you look at his record here, 73 games played, 43 goals scored. And I don't know what else you want of the lad. He's only 19. You know, this is the level he's been playing at so far, and he can't do much else about that. It does seem like he was about to get the call up at Fulham to be in the first team side. So this is a guy who knows where the net is, and that's what's most important about a striker, to know where the net is. 4-year deal, very little to lose here. We've essentially spent nothing on the lad. Listen, if he comes in and he doesn't hit the ground running, he doesn't fire off all cylinders, we've got 4 years to make it right. And if it doesn't work, we've hardly wasted money. This is very low risk, high reward if it works. And going off the record that he's showed at the Fulham levels he's been through so far, I think we're on to something. I think we're on to having a good player here, and I'm excited to see what he brings Celtic. This is very good business by the club. And I know what you're all thinking, when are we going to spend money? We've made 4 signings, and between the 4 signings we've spent about 2 million quid. So what? If anything, that's a good thing. We have even more money now to spend on the most important areas of this side. We have got a top player in Benjamin Nygren. He's come in for less than 2 million quid. And if there was more time in his contract, he'd be a £6 or £7 million player. Very smart business. Callum Osmand, somebody, if he had years left in his deal, we probably wouldn't be anywhere near. He could be very high ceiling. Very smart business. Kieran Tierney on a pre-contract, the best fullback Celtic have seen in the last 2 decades. Very good business. This is the club being good at business. We will spend money. I have no reservation about that happening. Just be patient and they will come. But right now, the 4 signings that we've made are smart. They're good for business as well. There's not an awful lot to complain about. And I know people like him on. But listen, one to be excited about, one for the future. Callum Osmand is here. He becomes the 4th signing of the summer transfer window. And Celtic's 5th summer signing, as we all know, is set to arrive. Hayato Inamura will join the club this week, and we have a couple of statements to go over before his signing. I mean, 5 signings by, let's just say, the 4th of July. That's nuts for Celtic standards. 5 signings by the first week of July. Crazy. You couldn't have convinced me of that a few months ago, but here we are. Both his club right now, which he's leaving in Japan, Alberix Nagata, and the player himself have spoken ahead of his move, and we're going to quickly look over the 2 of them. So Alberix Nagata have released a statement surrounding his departure. A spokesperson for the club said, "We would like to inform you that Hayato Inamura, a member of our club, has left the team on June 29th in order to complete the necessary procedures and preparations for a transfer to an overseas club. We will notify you of Inamura's future once an official decision has been made." And that official decision by the player himself has been made. It's just now the formalities of a medical to be completed, because the player has released his own statement following his departure from Nagata. He said, said that I'm sorry to, first of all, I'm sorry to have made this decision when the team is in a difficult situation, and I would like to thank all the supporters for the love they have shown me for the last 2 years, including the special designated period when I was confirmed to join Alberic's Nagata. When I heard my chant in the opening game of the season, I felt a great sense of responsibility and awareness. I want to make this team win, and I want to make all the supporters smile every week. That feeling was my driving force. La Familia is a word that supporters cherish, and I love this word. As this word shows, I think the atmosphere of a big family rooted in Nagata is Alberic's Nagata's greatest strength, and that's why I wanted to convey my passion for football and my feelings for the team more on this pitch at this warm club. So he has confirmed he's leaving. Sadly, he is leaving. He seems to be really touched by the response of the supporters upon his departure, but he will join Celtic this week. A huge move for him. We know he will become a Celtic player, so keep an eye out for the official announcement of that sometime in the coming days. Let's catch up very quickly about Michel Ange Balikwisha, somebody else who looked set to become a Celtic player in this summer transfer window. It's looking a little bit more complicated with him right now. He's still high up on the Celtic agenda, as far as we know, but Antwerp are making it a little bit more difficult for Celtic to complete. Now, last week we spoke about the fact that Antwerp are looking for a fee of around 5.1 million for the winger. Celtic saying that's a bit too much. Not willing to pay that because he only has a year left on his deal, and with his injury record these last couple of seasons, it's pretty fair of Celtic to be reserved on that sort of transfer fee, especially with a year left on his contract. We've talked in this video so much about smart business. It wouldn't be very smart to pay over £5 million or €5 million, whatever it may be, for a winger who we don't know if he'll be 100% fit all the time. And with a year left on his deal, just doesn't make too much sense. Now, I want him to become a Celtic player. I feel like his fitness issues are hopefully behind him and he'll be ready to play for us. But $5 million is a hell of a lot of money. But the asking price has been lowered. So last week there was a report going into the weekend that apparently Antwerp were willing to lower that asking price from 5.1 million to 4.6 million pounds. Apparently they were ready to lower it by around 500,000 while they still look for that financial boost. But their CEO Sven Shakur, he's came out and said, we don't mind if we need to keep him. So his exact words were, of course I want to keep him. I also think that it can work. He's indicated that the financial situation at Antwerp isn't as bad as what once made out, and it doesn't necessarily mean they need to get rid of everybody to steady the books. So if they don't get the money that they want for Balikwisha in this window, essentially what he's saying is, well, we just won't sell him. I don't know if that's just bluffing. I don't know if he's trying to call Celtic's bluff. If he's lowered this asking price to 4.6 million and then saying, oh, we won't sell him if we don't need to. I don't know if that's just to try and get Celtic to go, right, fine, here's the money. But nonetheless, I don't think that's going to make Celtic budge. We'll have plenty of targets at the club. We've got plenty of wingers we've been linked with these last couple of years. Ultimately, I think this is going to come down to Michel himself, the player himself. I think that he is going to have to be the one that says to the Antwerp hierarchy, I want the move to Celtic, get that asking price lowered, or I'll down tools for the next year. And I'm not advocating for it to do that. I think footballers should respect their contracts and they should respect the team that employ them. And I don't like bratty players, but if he really wants the move, I think it lies with him now, to be quite honest. Celtic aren't going to jump at 4.6 million because the CEO has come out and said, we're fine keeping him. So it's got a little bit more complicated. Of course, there's still a lot of time left in this window anyway. It's only just about to open over Europe in the next 24 hours. So this will take many twists and turns, but it seems to be one that's quite complicated right now. And to finish off, I thought we'd talk about some good news, some positive news, just to put some smiles on the faces on this Monday afternoon. Celtic, of course, have returned to Lennoxtown. We know they returned on Friday and go back in this week for their first full week back at training. And that's in preparation for their pre-season friendlies. In a couple of weeks, we take on Cork City in Ireland. And ahead of that, Celtic have donated €10,000 to a local Cork charity ahead of that tie against Cork in the clash in the park. Celtic have donated £10,000 to the local charity Feed Cork, which was established 8 years ago as a community outreach with food hampers to feed families around the area yeah, Celtic have donated €10,000 to that. It's fantastic to hear and see, of course, sticking to the roots of our club, the very foundations of what Celtic was, and hopefully that will help out a lot of the families in the local community. Love reading stuff like that. Fair play Celtic, €10,000. Love that. And I'm very much looking forward to the friendly against Cork. Right, that does it for today then. If you have enjoyed, please let me know down below. Let me know your thoughts as well. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll be back all week. The kit rankings are due soon. Livingston, announce your home tap. You're always last. Why? See you next time.